Just finished the gym. Day number 3, factory touring. I've been in China now for, well, it'll be 21 years this October, so over 20. I originally came to China with the ambitions, like many of us expats, to come to China with great ambitions to be making millions and millions of dollars in a very short period of time, 2-3 years, and go back and retire on a beach in Australia somewhere. That was my ambition. So I came to China in 2005 and I started doing some very basic export business. And I was teaching English at the time because that gave me a working visa and accommodation to get my thing started. And I did some surround sound theatre systems. And that was how I cut my teeth in China. However, it wasn't easy and I didn't enjoy it. Surround sound theatre systems wasn't my thing. I wasn't passionate about it. And also, I made a lot of mistakes. The factories ripped me off. They had, a Dolby 7.1. It was lucky to be a Dolby 0.71. It was all fake, this, that, and the other. So it was just a good learning experience for me. I don't regret any of it, but it wasn't for me. And when I was looking for things to do, I needed to go to the gym. I've always been a gym addict ever since I was a young age. I would be going to the gym and I'd be looking for protein powder, looking for vitamins, and I couldn't find any vitamins. I couldn't find any protein powder. Or when I did find protein powder and vitamins, you didn't know the quality and the pricing was all over the place. Like $250 or $50 for a 5-pound tub of protein. It was just absolutely all over the place. And then my entrepreneurial brain, that's what I was doing in Australia, working in supplement stores. I love this space. Maybe I'm the only guy who thought of doing a supplement business in mainland China. In early 2007, I started investigations and we started our health food supplement store. Originally it was all online. We did cash on delivery. This was well before the internet. This is well before things could be paid on phones. There was no smartphones. So we had what we call black taxi drivers. This was before Uber, before DD. Taxi drivers that would take you places in their own car and you'd pay them cash. So these guys would be delivering our supplements, receiving the cash and bringing it back, and then I would give them a cut of the cash. I mean, this is just how we did it. And my lounge room was the warehouse and a spare bedroom that we had. We had a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Beijing, and we would store all the supplements in there. It was really challenging. My mobile phone was the customer service number. We were selling to expatriates only, so back then, pretty much. So it was English language based, and people would ring and go, "Oh, I want to come and see your store." And we didn't have a store. So, we had our house, our apartment, and I didn't want people coming to our apartment. So it was challenging, interesting nonetheless. So after launching in 2017, we had a mini series of cups and mistakes, the wrong business partners that threatened to, do us bodily harm, and that broke up. So we quickly very quickly moved apartments, changed phone numbers, and restarted. But restarted afresh. I was 100% equity holder and just started completely from scratch again. And then eventually things was picking up and we were selling very quickly and a lot of product. My entrepreneurial brain got ticking more. I've got hundreds of customers on my database. These are quite wealthy people. How about I raise money? So I started emailing my customer base saying that we were expanding and looking for money to open up a physical location, a physical retail store. After running the business for a little over a year, in late 2018, we successfully raised some money. At that stage, I thought it was a fortune. I thought I had made it and I was going to be a multi-millionaire for the rest of my life. We raised $150,000, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago, over nearly 20 years ago. So I think it was about $150,000. And we opened the retail store, and we also started looking into importing ourselves. At that stage prior, we were buying from local distributors, and the choice wasn't enough, and the profit margin wasn't quite enough as well. So we really wanted to have a large selection of vitamins, minerals, proteins, fat burners, supplements, etc. So we really needed to look at doing the importing side ourselves as well. So we raised $150,000, opened the first store in Chaoyang district, Beijing. We ran that business for over 10 years, from 2007 until 2017, where we exited. We sold. I was very happy to have sold. It was not for a fortune. It was, though, a successful exit. Any exit is successful, but the reason we sold, for many reasons, but I think the prime reason I could say is the regulatory in China was just too sporadic, not in anyone's favor, and it just made it impossible. At one stage in the early parts of the business, we were selling over 1,000 SKUs in the health food store, and a lot of them being vitamins, minerals, fat burners, where we make some pretty decent profit margin. When we were left with 40 SKUs because the regulatory went crazy, and we had basically protein powder only, which was the lowest margin product on the shelf, it was very challenging to survive. And to survive, you had to play a little bit gray. You couldn't 100% work with the regulatory. No one did. No one in the industry worked with the regulatory system because it was just so backwards. So you had to be a little bit gray, and that was very stressful because you didn't know if someone would buy something and then try to sue you because you had a product that was gray area on the market. It was just extremely stressful. So 2017, we exited, and I was very, very grateful to have exited. It's kind of my genesis story. I have to say, and this is fact, I am the only foreigner in past, present, and history, foreigner, expatriate, foreign passport holder, that has ever done anything in sports nutrition, supplements, and vitamins and minerals within mainland China, ever. So I hold that crown. I certainly didn't do it because I was smarter than anyone. I certainly didn't do it because I was braver than anyone. I did it because I was ignorant more than anyone, thinking that this, Australian expatriate that could take on the entire sports nutrition market of China. It was just too intense, too challenging. It's challenging for Chinese, but at least if you are Chinese, you understand the culture, the regulatory, and you can, roll with the punches a lot easier. For me, it was an absolute nightmare. So very, very grateful to have exited. However, I would not be doing what I'm doing today without that 10, 11 years in my genesis of starting a health food store chain in China. Because I was the only foreign-owned, foreign-managed, foreign everything health food store company in China, back then, every company in the world wanted to do business in China. From Vitamin Shop to GNC. I nearly sold my company to GNC and Vitamin Shop. We went through due diligence, both Vitamin Shop and GNC, and we had LOIs. We had a lot of maturity, but not just GNC and Vitamin Shop. Big companies like Dymatize Nutrition, etc. They preferred, and I don't blame them in many ways, preferred doing business with a foreigner. So that gave me opportunities. We weren't a very large supplement store chain. We had retail locations in Beijing and Shanghai, but we weren't extremely large. But our maximum revenue, I think we did $3 million in our very top revenue year. So we weren't a very big company. However, being in China and being a foreigner, a lot of opportunities came my way. Humongous opportunities. We started rubbing shoulders and, people wanting to do business with us that for the size of our company, which was minuscule. So a lot of opportunities, and people got to know me, Drew Campbell, and it just led to many other things. So I would not be doing what I'm doing today, which I absolutely love, without all of those 10, 11 years of it almost killing me, quite frankly, the stress we went through. Without that 10, 11 years, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So all of that shit that we went through eventually became fertilizer, nurturing the plants that we are now cultivating in our various businesses in sports nutrition. So I'm very, very grateful for the opportunities. I'm very grateful for all of the challenges, because it strengthened us and it's allowed us to do what we're doing today.